2024 Republican debate's second GOP debate may be smaller with or without Trump's 6 of 8 candidates in the first debate appear likely to qualify for Sept. 27 event. But there may be fewer contenders on stage when the GOP holds its next debate later this month. Joshua LottWashington Post via the second Republican presidential primary debate is less than 2 weeks away. So time is running out for GOP candidates to meet the Republican National Committee's qualification criteria. In order for the debate to take place on September 27, each candidate must have at least 3% support 2 qualifying national polls or at least 3% 1 national poll, and the same number polls conducted 2 different early voting states since August 1. Each candidate must also provide evidence of reaching at least 50,000 unique donors to his campaign. And if polls and donors are anything go by, candidates will once again have sign a pledge support the party's eventual nominee in 2024 if they want participate. This being case, there is a high probability that fewer than the 8 candidates who attended party's first meeting in August will qualify. 6 of those 8 appear have donors and polls to make the second debate, and each signed RNC's first debate pledge, so there's no reason think they won't sign again. Asa Hutchinson may face renewed difficulty in qualifying for September high thresholds for polls and donors. Poll qualification is based on polls that meet the Republican National Committee's participation requirements. To participate in the debate, candidates must meet both voting and donor thresholds set by the Republican National Committee. To meet polling requirement, a candidate must reach 3% at least 2 national polls or 3% in 1 national poll and 2 polls from the top 4 voting states' GOP primary. Each comes from separate states. According to polls, meets the RNC's inclusion criteria. Information released by campaigns is used to determine whether a candidate has met the donor threshold. If a campaign reached 50,000 donors but did not specify whether it had at least 200 donors in 20 states, we assumed that the campaign also met the second requirement. To participate, candidates and donors with enough polls must sign a pledge promising to support the eventual Republican presidential nominee. Source surveys. News 538's analysis found that Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis and tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy have at least 3% support in every qualifying poll. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, former Vice President Mike Pence and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie hit that mark in nearly every poll. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott reached that point in nearly 3/4 of the polls. And none of these 6 candidates showed any signs of difficulty reaching the 50,000 donor goal. Even Pence's campaign, which has had a harder time attracting donors than most, announced in mid-August that it had enough unique